It's
Oh, yeah, we're ready to go.
Aries and James,
I'll put my phone on silent.
Aries and James.
Oh, we're ready.
All right, ready.
Welcome back to another episode of Aries and Gems.
And Gems.
I'm Aries.
I'm Gems.
Yeah, and I'm here to give you some free advice. Freedom
Yeah,
is a must.
pain-free advice.
Freedom of thought, freedom of expression, and that's the Aries job. And yeah, my co-host Gems,
Yeah. So I'm here to.
my co-lead actually.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I'm here to drop some gems, some bits of insight, maybe different perspectives. Yeah, so let's touch on a topic and see how we go. So this week it's my turn, and I wanted to think about different relationships that people might have with pain. Like that could be like your pain threshold, maybe what certain people do to like block pain out, and just kind of use that as a jumping off point. And the reason why this particular topic came up for me is what I'm noticing amongst a lot of my friends is as they're getting older, obviously their parents are aging too, and there's just this rhetoric of, helping your parents through managing their pain, managing their discomfort. It could be like long-term illness, it could be, something that's temporary, but pain is definitely becoming a more like something that's actually you have to really think about and consider as you get older. And a lot of the arguments and dysfunctions that I'm hearing from a lot of my friends is, it's caused because their parents are in chronic pain and probably irritable and very like distressed. And that just got me thinking about that relationship with pain. And as we get older, like maybe we need to afford a bit more grace because you don't know what someone's going through. So yeah, that's kind of why I was thinking about it this week.
Oh yeah, it's an interesting topic because like a lot of people, like a lot of men, I can speak for a lot of men who just live with chronic pains instead of trying to get it treated. And then you've got other types of people who actually try to deal like with their pain, so they self-medicate. So like some people have chronic pains and they take like, well, they just smoke weed, drink alcohol. Like they can lead to a destructive path trying to suppress the pain, the chronic pain that you're in. So yeah, it's an interesting topic. We can what do you want to discuss first?
Yeah, so like I was saying, so a friend of mine was telling me, like she's been having issues, particularly like with someone in her family, and that person has like chronic back pain. And my argument was like, just allow some grace and forgiveness a little bit because, it's not easy when you have chronic pain and that's always at the back of your mind. It's like you're starting the day with a deficit because you're already tired and it's just like first thing in the morning. And not to allow everything, but definitely to just have that little bit of grace, I think. And there could be people that you're working with and you think, oh, they're such an asshole. Why are they so like annoying and persistent? And they could also be living with a lot of pain, and you just don't know what other people are going through. And that's kind of the way I was thinking about it. So moving on from that, also I was thinking about like medication and different forms, and you touched on like substances. Whereas I was thinking about it more as actual like, so for example, let's take this as a kind of steer. If you've got a headache and you're in pain, discomfort, what's your go-to to do?
My go-to?
Yeah.
I go to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what if you've got like work or you're out?
You just gotta suffer. You just gotta suffer. Well, I would just if I can still function with the headache, I just deal with the pain.
Yeah.
Like I carry on with the pain.
Yeah. And do you
So
get headaches?
I'll be at work and I'll be like, oh, I've got a work headache. And then I'll just fight through it. If it's not affecting my job, then yeah, I carry on.
Do you get headaches quite bad? Like, would you say you get migraines?
No, I'll just say a headache. I wouldn't really say I get like migraines that like really pound my head. Like how some people have described it. But then I wouldn't know. Maybe I would, but my threshold for pain might just be that I'm just so used to having pain that it's just like it's another pain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because if I have a headache, I'm just used to taking a painkiller. And that probably started in my teens. That's just something that started in my household.
Yeah.
So if you've got a pain, you know, I would ask my mom for a painkiller. That was just the way. It's only now that I've gotten older that I really consider the dosage. I think, okay, what kind of headache is this? Do I need a whole tablet? Sometimes I'll break the tablets in half if it's mild. If I've done things like I've had a bit of water and then I've gone actually to eat something, that way to, you know, alleviate the pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely something that I've been used to it since living with my family.
How much people do you think are addicted to like pharmaceutical drugs and prescription pills and stuff?
Yeah, for pain medication.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because I was trying to find the percentage of people that are on.
Oh, to guess.
On prescription.
In
don't.
the UK?
No, I'm gonna look.
Yeah, if you look, I'll try to guess it.
Yeah.
But just tell me what region you're Googling.
In the UK.
In the UK?
Yeah.
Addicted?
No, that are on prescription drugs.
Oh, just on it?
Yeah.
I'd say like maybe like 15%, if you can get a percentage.
15?
Yeah.
Well, it says here 66% in the US. It hasn't got the UK. Let me see what it says in the UK.
But 66%. Prescription? Because you can buy it over the counter, like...
Yeah, 70%
What?
of people in the UK receive prescriptions for one or more medications, with increasing proportions receiving prescriptions for 5 or more. The high rates of medication use increase the complexity of the cost of healthcare. So,
but that's not specific to pain, though.
There was one thing that I saw.
So I think of that 77 is not.
I think most, because prescription and pain go hand in hand, because you would have something wrong with you.
Not if you're taking medication, like, I can't think of what, but maybe it could be anything. It could be insulin.
Because even mental health, because even because they said if this country,
sertraline.
If this country, I mean, the amount of money that this country spends on drugs to keep it like a normal functioning country, they said if the drugs stopped, like there'll be chaos.
Understood, but how much of that is pain? That's why I came low of 15, because considering you can buy a lot of things over the counter, a lot of medications you can get over the counter. Anything on prescription is for very strong pain, isn't it?
I don't know. Like I'm not a prescription drug person, so I don't know. Like I've just written off prescription drugs. I don't really think they work, but I think that like generally the population has prescription drug addiction, but people wouldn't know it because it seems like a harmless addiction, but it isn't. But once you know, like, the population has an addiction, is that where they take a pill for every little thing.
Yeah, there's like a recommendation for everything, but just touching on that, like, I think, like, when I had my tooth extracted, obviously, I was in an immense amount of pain, and that was the only time in my life that I've actually been prescribed painkillers. Everything else I could get over the counter. So these were like extra strong dose. Yeah. So I think people who would be on an extra strong dose like that would be that's why my guess is like 15 to 20. I'd be very surprised if people were on strong, like cocodamol, codidromol, those kind of codeine dependent painkillers on prescription. I'd be very surprised if that percentage was.
But if you're in chronic 50. Pain, why wouldn't you be?
Because maybe you just, because you know when you go to the doctor and they say, oh, is it a dull pain?
And I think there's only a certain amount that you can take of those extra strong ones.
Yeah. Can you I can't, when I go to the doctor and they ask if it's like a sharp pain, a dull pain, and they ask me to like describe it, I'm not very good at describing it. Can you describe when you're in pain, like how it feels?
Yeah, I think so. I'm good at describing pain. Yeah, like to be honest, I think that the GP and the pharmaceuticals are just it's just it's a legal drug operation going on. Yeah, they're just running because even when you go to the GP, all they do is prescribe you pills. They don't give you any other options. Like you tell them your symptoms, and then they think about, okay, what pill can we prescribe this person. So I think that they're making a lot of money from the everyone being hooked on the legal drugs. Yeah, because a lot of people, like 70%, that's a high number.
I would love to get an advice from a GP or a trainee doctor, because I think actually I heard once that when they do prescribe the drugs, like something about they need to get the money back. There's something about the surgery that, say you go to your GP and they prescribed you a drug, it's either you pay for it or they have to pay something. There's something to do with that I'm not 100% on, but I'd love to know, like in the comments and stuff, like what people think and how it actually is in the UK. Like, who's paying for all these drugs?
Oh yeah, the taxpayer probably is paying for the drugs.
But the initial demand, like, who has to order them? Who pays? Who pays up front?
The government. The government will pay the pharmaceutical companies, and then the money funnels back to them somehow, to the pharmaceutical companies. But the pharmaceutical companies are kind of more powerful than the government. To consider 70% are on prescription drugs.
Yeah. Do you think, just as a segue then, do you think that we should just have a system where you just go to the pharmacy and you tell them, you have a consultation with a pharmacist like you would with a GP, and you just get the drugs, and then the GP is for actual medical examination and, you know, urine analysis, blood tests, etc.
Yeah, I think that would be a better system, actually. Yeah, because I think it's turned into this drug operation without people even knowing. Like, because people don't even question it. I think the average person doesn't question that. They just keep going to the GP and getting prescribed with...
Sometimes it does go hand in hand. Like, if you go because of a swelling, you might then need something like anti-inflammatory, and that might end up being a prescription.
Yeah.
So one is an examination, and then it results in you getting a prescription. But if you know that you've got maybe depression and anxiety and you need your refill, and you'll have an assessment, and then they'll prescribe you the next dose, maybe that could just be a pharmacist, because you've already had that initial assessment. So maybe the two should be separate, maybe. I don't know, I'm oversimplifying as usual. But yeah, it does seem like it's trying to do two things at once when you go. And that's the whole point of GPs, isn't it? They're general.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. And also, I think that I've never gone around the non-medical routes. So what you said earlier about if you've got a headache and you'll just go to sleep, I had heard once. First of all, I've had such interesting experiences. Like, there was one person I worked with, she called painkillers snacks, because she was just so used to, if she had a headache, she would just pop one.
Yeah.
And we used to joke and laugh, and she'd be like, yeah, I've got a snack, I've got a treat. Don't let that headache, get you down. Like, have a little munch. And it was just so normal to take like maybe around 3:00.
Yeah, I think the population's got a drug problem. People are hooked on paracetamols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, if you
and you don't even know that you have a paracetamol problem, because you'll be like, oh, my stomach hurts, let me take a paracetamol. Oh, my head hurts, let me take a headache tablet.
There've been so many times where I haven't taken my painkillers like with me, and I've been out, and I'm like, oh, has anyone else got? And like, I'm offered ibuprofen, paracetamol.
So, do you think you have a drug problem?
I do think it's not a problem, but I do think that, like, what you said earlier about like taking a pill for every little thing, I do want to stop that habit. So it's not a problem, but I'm recognizing a pattern that, yes, if I've got a severe headache, I'll go to a painkiller, as opposed to what I'm trying to do now is limit the pain that I do have.
Yeah.
So I know if I skip a meal, I'm most likely going to have a headache. So I try then not to skip a meal. I try to keep hydrated. So I'm doing all the things to not allow the headache to happen. That's my pain. It's usually headaches.
Yeah.
But then when someone's having pain that's irregular, that they can't control, that's that might be a little bit different to advise and call a problem. Yeah. Because if you just have flare-ups and you don't know,
Yeah.
you know, if you've got an issue, medical issue, that sometimes... so yeah, I don't think it's a problem, but I definitely want to stop going to pills for everything. And in school, I had a teacher that used to, when she had a headache, she used to wrap a scarf around her head really tightly. And apparently doing that, like creating purposeful pressure, helped the headache. And that worked for her.
Yeah, I think people's answer is always, well, we're taught that pills is always the answer, when I think there's many other ways of dealing with pain, like, but we're just not taught them, like, because there's holistic. A lot of people think that holistic healthcare is like pseudo, and like, so people are not really, they're not really into trying, but pills is equally as experimental
Yeah.
as holistic health. But I think it's just the propaganda of the pharmaceutical companies. They've got the most powerful propaganda machine behind them to be able to get everybody on prescription medication when they're in pain. And they've like pretty much shut down the holistic industry. Like, the holistic industry is pretty much underground now. And then when someone is, they start accusing them of being a conspiracy theorist, tinfoil hat type person. When someone's trying to teach you holistic health and how to get rid of pains naturally. Yeah, so there's that kind of battle that goes on. Because it's like when someone sees someone that's on all the pills, like, and they got all their medications laid out, and it's usually it doesn't help them. Usually one thing leads to another, and then you're on more medication, and then it just keeps piling up, and then ultimately the pharmaceutical companies win when the more medication that you're on, like, it's the better for them, but it's not really the better for you. They need to keep you sick, because once you're not on medication anymore and you've healed yourself and you're fine, there's no more money for them.
Yeah, but there are some conditions though that genuinely rely and need, medical intervention.
Yeah, I think like mental health, like,
they're more than we can list today, I think, to be
Yeah.
fair. I think there are serious conditions. However, even knowing people that have serious conditions that take medicine, like, I've seen firsthand certain people, they test, okay, well, if I come off this for a little bit and substitute it with this, and it's just this constant game of like testing, what do I actually need to be on, because sometimes you can be overprescribed, and I've seen people challenge their doctors and say, this dosage is too high, like, yeah.
But most of the time it's like an experiment. They're just experimenting. So you're just like a human experiment, and they're okay. Let's test this one and let's see what the results are. Okay, I was vomiting. It caused this. It didn't. So okay, let's prescribe you with another one. So it's just all trial and error. It's still trial and error with that they're testing there, and then you just become the human guinea pig as a person that's gone into the doctors and said, "Yeah, I'm sick." Okay, so yeah, they're like, "Yeah, we can test this one now."
Yeah, I've heard so many times people have said, since I've been prescribed XYZ, I feel worse. And they've had to go back, like you say, it's like an experiment. You go back to the drawing board and you figure out with your doctor, like, how to get the right balance.
Yeah.
And some things tell you on the packet, you'll feel worse before you feel better.
Yeah.
So you have to take that.
That's my experience with pills, and as to why I stopped taking them and just took the holistic approach, because they never used to make me feel better. They used to make me feel worse. I've healed myself and healed pains through natural means, and diet, just a change of diet, a change of lifestyle has cured pains. And I don't think I've ever taken pills and it's cured me of anything. Like, I've taken pills and it's helped. Like, what's this called? What's that one called when you have diarrhea? Remember when I had diarrhea?
Diarrhea, Imodium.
I had diarrhea for like 3 weeks and I took Imodium, and then that helped straight
3
away.
weeks? Oh my God.
Yeah. And then and headache tablets do work, but then you've still got the headache. So if there's something seriously wrong, it's not solving the problem.
Yeah.
It's just stopping the pain.
Yeah. Sometimes I know when a headache will come. Like if it's a hot day and I'm traveling, I'll bring a bottle of water.
Yeah. But usually when you get a headache from a hot day, it's the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I don't bring my sunglasses and then the sun's out, then I know I'm going to get a headache. Especially if I'm driving. Like, I definitely know I'll get a headache.
So it's definitely being more mindful of that. That's what I've tried to change. Like knowing, okay, it's been 6 hours since I've eaten something. Like I know if I don't intervene now, I'm going to get a headache. But I was just ignorant to that growing up. Like I would sometimes spend hours in my room being a nerd, revising, playing guitar, doing some geeky stuff, and then just let the day go by, and then I'll have a headache. So I wasn't looking after myself, and that continued up until uni. I was doing that as well, having long gaps between when I ate.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think about like pills to cure pain?
I don't think...
Is it a good thing? Is it...
Like you said, you touched on it as well. You said that pills have never cured you, and I don't think a medication... Like the clue's in the name, it medicates, it helps you. But I think cures usually come with treatment, usually come with going back to basics, diet, lifestyle, hydration, a different exposure, stress, sleep, very basic, things. I think that is where the cures kind of come through. But in terms of medication, no, it just helps you to live with the pain or live with the discomfort or live with...
But doesn't it make that... Isn't that better though?
Side effects.
Isn't that better than to be in chronic pain?
Yeah, absolutely. Like sometimes the side effects are worse, than living on medication, and the panic when you've forgotten to do your refill and you're running low and it takes 3 weeks, to be like, it can be stressful being on top of your medication.
Yeah, because I was thinking, because I've had chronic pain for like, let's say 10 years, and I've just learned to live with it. But I was thinking, how much better quality of life would I have if I just took painkillers all the time? Like, would the painkillers have an adverse effect on my life? Like, in terms of, like, causing other problems. But at the same time, I can go about my life not feeling any pain. Like, what would be the better option?
Yeah.
For a person? Like, I think most people just choose, I'm just going to try and live pain-free, because there is a freedom in being pain-free. Like, once you have chronic pain, you take not having any pain for granted. Like, you just realize all those years when you didn't have any pains, how you just didn't even think about it. But then when you've just got chronic pain, it can ruin your day. Yeah,
which is why I said about like giving grace, because sometimes someone will tell you, oh yeah, I've got problems with my back, and then the next day you're like, oh, she's such a bitch, so bossy. And it's just like, do you not think the two are connected? Do you not think that the chronic pain actually just, you're already at the deficit in the day where you're already tired, you're already annoyed, you're already feeling maybe woe is me. It can be stressful. And I know when I had my tooth extracted, I was like, I had to prepare, what my recovery period would look like, because I would have been in a lot of pain. So I was like, okay, I need someone to help me do this, and I need, I know that I can be a bit of a damsel when I'm sick. So I was like, okay, I want like my boyfriend to be nearby. I want people to check in on me, like I created an atmosphere to help me with that pain. And it's hard to ask for what you want, I think, sometimes. Like so often we say, oh, let me know if you need anything, but often people just say, oh no, it's fine. But yeah, I think you really need to tell people what, if it's like in the mornings, I'm not myself until I've eaten and I've had my medication, then tell the people that you're living with that information. You know, if when you come home from a long day, it's 10 times harder because of your chronic pain, and maybe you just need like an hour's grace to yourself, let people know.
Do you think that people are open about their prescription habits? Like,
If
do
it's
you
a
think they hide
relationship
it?
or in your family, I think they shouldn't. I think people might do because there is
kind of
a
open.
stigma.
I think it's kind of open. I don't think people hide that they take pills.
Pills like over the counter stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But if it's like injections and, you know, like more serious stuff, I think maybe.
But just pills in general. I don't think someone would hide if they was on the injections.
Yeah, maybe.
But like, cause pills are kind of. Yeah, I think like when you go to someone's house, they don't hide their pills. Like, they're usually just lying there to be seen.
Yeah, I've seen and discovered my friends have been on like antidepressant tablets, and but even with that, you don't know how someone's taking it. Just because you see the pills there, they might not take it every day. Even if the pack says daily, you know, they might be trying to wean themselves off, or their dosage might be different. Like I've got loads of hay fever tablets, you know, and that's even when summers are just kind of mild. I just have them there, and it's the same. Someone might have a lot of, like, I still have very heavy dose painkillers from when I had my surgery. So you could come in my house and see that and think, oh, she's on some strong stuff, but I don't take them anymore. They're just there. Yeah.
What about taking the pill to prevent period pains?
Ooh. I never do anything preventatively when it comes to pain, because like I said, I even half tablets if I don't need to take a whole one. But when it comes to period pain, the only time I would take a painkiller is when I become a little bit immobile and I actually can't help myself. That's when I take it, yeah. Because it's important for me to be able to get up, go to the toilet, move, and if I can't do that without severe pain, then I'll take it. And if the cramps are that bad, then yeah, I would take a.
Yeah. And why do you think a lot of women are against like people teaching prevention of period pains? Like, there's people that like say if you have a diet like this, it would lessen your.
I've never heard this before. I would definitely be interested.
These are part of the holistic conversations that they have.
No, so
about improving your diet makes you have lighter periods with less pain. But they say that like men can't teach those kind of things to women, because a holistic person is just, whether they're male or female, they're gonna teach to, like, a male one is gonna teach to a female, and a female one's gonna teach to a male. Like, yeah, this is what you should do.
I've not heard this. I know before, the only thing I do that's preventative is I would maybe use a hot water bottle. That's probably, and I'll make sure I clear my calendar so I don't put extra stress on myself. I don't agree to social outings when I know I'm on my period. I try to lie low and just take it easy, and have a hot water bottle nearby. But in terms of changing my diet, I wouldn't be against it if someone explained. It's just how they. It's like with anything. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. If it's mansplained in a patronizing way, like where it's very blamey, then yeah, I wouldn't be receptive to that.
Blamey in what sense? Is that your diet is causing you to be in pain and you should change? Like, an
yeah,
kind of
if it was a reel and the first frames of it was like, here's why you are causing yourself more pain than you need to have, you know, those kind of like clickbaity, you know, then I would not be interested in that.
So would it have a different effect if a woman was teaching another woman about?
Again, it's not what you say, it's how, because I've got a friend who's a naturopath, and her approach to naturopathy is understanding like background, family history. So you could do all the diet stuff, but you might just be predisposed to have painful periods because that's just something you've inherited, or it might just be maybe the way you're having sex. It could be a whole host of other things, and you could go down the diet route and it might not work for you. But I think on this topic I wanted to just touch on the other aspects. So like obviously CBD is a very big industry now, and you touched on like,
I think CBD is another pseudo
yeah,
industry in the way that they're selling it.
oh, okay,
Yeah, because I remember when someone recommended to me to treat anxiety was to like take CBD. Was it CBD oil? I think it was CBD oil, and it was like vouching for it. Like, yeah.
but just on
Take the
that, how did
CBD
they
oil.
recommend? Because you asked me about a woman or a man recommending to me about prevention for like,
Oh
how
no,
was it
they
recommended
was
to
like
you?
they had anxiety, and they was like, yeah, the CBD helps them. You should try it.
Okay.
Yeah, when I took it, the anxiety got worse. But I don't know if that was due to the CBD or it's just that was the natural process of where the anxiety was going.
And these were the oil. This was like in an oil format.
Yeah, CBD oil.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So what do you
like,
think about these gummies that go around, or like some of them are like massage oils with CBD?
yeah, I don't know. Like it hasn't worked for me, so I can't really. I wouldn't dismiss it. Like I'll never dismiss it. Like I would only vouch for something that I've tried and it's worked. So if anyone has any chronic stomach pains, I can recommend how to help that naturally because I've done it. Like I've had chronic pains and then changed my diet, changed things that started eating things to help with the pain and they worked. So I could recommend that. But the CBD, it didn't work for me, so I can't then tell someone, yeah, CBD though, because they said CBD was good for anxiety. Yeah, but it didn't really work for me. So
As in, it made your anxiety worse?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it made it worse. Yeah, on the time that I tried it, so I can't vouch for that. But there's probably going to be people that can vouch for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can. I've tried gummies. They're like microdosing. They're ones that you can just have during the day. And yeah, I would like take one maybe during like a stressful day. But again, I don't like to just do things and expect this like automatic result. So I purposely go out my way to just like help it to work. So in addition to taking a gummy, I'll also go for a walk, or I'll make sure, okay, let me take out 15 minutes in my calendar just to have a bit of a break, because I think these things complement it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've never done anything, you know, when someone does something reckless and then you later find out that they're doing it to like mask the pain, or to like cover up, because sometimes like even like having like one night stands could be to cover up like heartbreak, you know, and that kind of pain and stuff.
Yeah.
So have you ever done anything like that, like reckless to mask maybe
No, I
pain?
don't.
Like, have you never had a glass of wine after a long day?
Yeah,
or...
never.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never.
Yeah. I've had stressful, like almost, you know, heartbreaking days at work, you know, where I just think, oh, I need a drink,
Yeah.
or I need to smoke. You know,
Yeah.
I've just had such a stressful period. I recognize that I'm doing that at that time, so I do it very mindfully. And also, like you were saying before about like period pain and stuff, if I am on my period, I don't care about the calories. I'm one of those people, like I will order a takeaway because I just think I'm not going to put any extra judgment on myself at this time because I'm already vulnerable. I'm already overthinking. I'm already like bloated. I don't need to add judgment as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you've always just been natural and holistic?
No, because you don't know it. You you do what you're taught. So I would say over here you're kind of taught if you have a pain, then there's like tablets to stop the pain. You then have to be taught about holistic health, and they don't really. That's kind of an underground movement. So I kind of discovered that.
So you've never done like even comfort eating? You've never done that?
Yeah, it's not really my thing to go to food or something. Like I would, for comfort for me would be an activity.
Okay.
So if I'm in pain, like an activity can take my mind off the pain, like something like an active sport that can take my mind off the pain.
Which almost seems in contradiction.
Yeah,
That you'd be able to.
yeah, kind of. It's weird, but it works. Like if you have a headache or something like that, actually going for a run or something can help, or a physical activity can kind of. It helps you forget about it. It helps you forget that you have a pain. Like I remember I used to have a pain in my side, and then I'll go and play basketball, and I would forget that I have the pain in my side whilst I'm doing, and then later on, maybe 2 hours after the activity is finished, the pain will come back, and I'll be like, oh, I've still got that pain. But when you're in the activity, you forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an idea. So what if I wanted to trial your way of doing? So the next time I get a headache,
Yeah.
what should be my first step? What's the first thing I should do?
I could only recommend turning down the lights low, putting a pressure on your head, not a heavy pressure, but something like a pillow on your head, or a blanket, something over your head, and then just lie down.
Okay.
And lie down. If you can't like lie down in silence, have like something light on in the background that you can hear, like some music or something, so that you're just not thinking about the headache.
Does it matter where the pain's come? Because sometimes I find when the headache's at the front of my head, that's it. Like I need a painkiller. But if it's at the back or in the middle, it's not so bad, and maybe I could try to sleep it off.
I probably hate the back ones worse than the front ones, to be honest. The worst ones are the ones I don't like are the eye headaches. The ones that you have around the eye that kind of push towards your head. Those are the headaches that I don't like. Because you've got to close your eyes to sleep. So
Yeah.
yeah, because it's very rare that I've woken up with a headache.
Yeah,
So-
same. I don't wake up like.
Yeah, that's when I'll be scared. Is if I woke up with a headache. Then I'll be like, no, something's seriously wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all that I would give is advice, like pressure on the head to kind of take away from the headache. Lying down and dim lights and calming music in the background. Calming music or a calming sound like rainfall or something, or like slow instrumentation. That's my holistic approach to headaches. And my holistic approach to stomach pains is a change of diet. Plenty of bananas, because bananas, I don't know, it apparently aligns your stomach to make things smoother when you're eating. Like it helps because the acid in your stomach is what creates the pain apparently, and bananas can kind of neutralize that, and cabbage. Bananas and cabbage and some starchy foods like chips. Yeah. Help. Yeah. Whitefish and chips. Help with stomach pains.
Can it be any type of potato? Or...
Yeah, I don't know. They just say starchy food.
Okay, yeah.
And starchy food is not meant to be good for you in your diet, but I'll say that definitely helped.
Have you heard about
stomach pains?
Having like a more alkaline diet then?
Yeah, I've done that as well. Like so, that's like so now when you've cured your stomach pain to maintain and not get stomach pains again, that's when you go now into your where you kind of try to alkaline your diet more. Yeah, and have a lot of alkaline foods, a lot of vegetables. Yeah, for the pain not to return. But but the diet change definitely helps. Diet and working out are definitely good ways to relieve pain which is what I've found, which kind of is a contradiction because you think, okay, I'm in pain and I've got to go and exercise, which is going to leave you in more pain. How, like, I'd rather just be in pain than have double the pain.
Yeah.
So, but it definitely works. Like, exercise. Those are the things that I recommend.
Yeah.
When it comes to pain, like with painkillers and stuff, I'm not against people taking painkillers. I just think they promote, I mean, the pharmaceutical companies have made it that being addicted to their drugs is not a problem. It's not something that anyone will bat an eyelid to, which can become dangerous because I think in the long term, pills only, as you get older, being reliant on prescription pills only reduces your quality of life and makes you more reliant on the healthcare system. That's one of my observations that I've seen. Yeah, and people who've decided to just look after themselves, change their diet, and not rely on that system, kind of have a better quality of life.
Yeah.
As they get older.
We have another topic. I'm not sure when we'll get to it, but on growing old gracefully. So we can delve into that a little bit more.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. I'm not old yet, I could only speak for other people. But I definitely know that, like, in this country tries to age us. This country, which is the UK, if you can't tell by our accents. But this country tries to age us quicker than we need to. Because a lot of people my age are like, oh, I'm old. And I'm like, how can you be old? We're still young.
Yeah.
Like, it's like 30s is like a very young age in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, you should feel like it's your prime as
Yeah.
opposed to like the beginning of a decline.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people's like, 30, I'm too old. Like, I'm too old to do this. I'm too, like, this country gives you a negative outlook. But when you go to the Caribbean, there's someone that's 70 that will be like, yeah, I'm not old yet. 90 years old is old.
Yeah, and they'll tell you all the people they've survived, like, I'm the last one
Yeah.
left. Yeah, it's just me.
Yeah, they don't look at, they wouldn't be 30 and be like, yeah, I'm old.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so yeah, this country ages us.
But they might look at you at 30 and think, oh, you ain't had your kids yet, you ain't done this yet. They might look and think that there's certain, you know...
I don't think they base it on age, though.
I think
I mean
so.
on aging.
Oh, okay,
as
okay.
in, you're old now. It's more biological and practical. It's like, okay, you know you can't have kids forever. Like, if you miss your window, I think maybe they'll be talking about it from that standpoint. Not that, you're old, you're too old to have kids or something.
Yeah. Lots more to talk about. But yeah, of course, we're not medical professionals. We're not, clinicians out here and all of that. But yeah, it's just our perspectives on it. Obviously, coming from having stomach problems, anxiety, everything from tooth problems. I think between us, we've had a fair go at it in terms of pain and pain management.
When it came to tooth, I'm like straight up, I just took the pills. The strongest painkillers going. That's one of them that I would never
Was
take.
it prescription, like what I had? Did you?
They just give it to you after you get your teeth taken out. But yeah, there was a holistic approach. They would be like, yeah, put cloves in your hole in the tooth.
Yeah, I did that. Like rinse with clove and salt and all that stuff.
Yeah, but like that, just once the pain's kicking in, you're calling for those pills. So if someone has pain like that elsewhere, how can you can't judge them for taking it?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine what you experienced in your recovery if someone had that chronic. Yeah.
So I'm not really against the like taking pills and stuff. I'm just thinking, I think more people are hooked on prescription pills and don't know it. And I think they need to bring more light to people being addicted to prescription pills, because I've heard that there's people that even go to like pharmacies and they're kicking up a fuss because they haven't got their pills, and it could get quite dangerous if you don't know that you're an addict.
Yeah.
And then
I've even, like, when you said about is it a problem, I've been abroad and I've gone to pharmacies and I've looked at medication in other languages, and I've just been like frantic, like, what is this? What is this? Because I need my painkiller. And you've inspired me today to continue what I'm doing, which is assessing every time, do I need to take medication? Do I need to take this much? What else I could do? Maybe I might take on an approach of like every other experience. Like, okay, this time I'll take a painkiller, but then the next time maybe I'll try your method, and yeah. I'll let you guys know how I get on with it. Actually, that would be a good one to do an update on.
Yeah, actually, yeah,
to
health check update.
See how I've got on with trying the going to sleep, pillow on the head, and just the lowering the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know. Yeah.
Well, in summary, how do you want to sum up the show?
Yeah, you've helped me a lot. I think we've gone around the houses in terms of like that first initial comment on, giving people grace and understanding, not being judgmental, but recognizing there's a bigger system at play.
Yeah.
And we just need to be more vigilant of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got for us? You got a quote of the week?
Yeah, I just gave my quote of the week for this week. I'm thinking like what can...
Shall I do my affirmation while you think?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, focus on the step in front of you, not the entire staircase. Focus on the step in front of you and not the entire staircase. Focus on the step in front of you and not the entire staircase.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and my quote for this week is rebelling against the norm. That's my quote, because the norm would be like what the pharmaceutical companies have taught us about healing. They've made that the norm. So like, just if you want other answers, rebel against the norm. So rebelling against the norm is my quote of the week this week. So yeah.
I really liked what you said about healing, by the way. I left it a bit late to add it in, but the difference between medication and healing is two separate things, and we're always taught that you can medicate and manage pain, but actually your ultimate goal isn't to be on medication, it's to heal.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, hopefully everyone took something from this episode. It was a nice episode.
Yeah.
Conversations that are needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, about health and looking after ourselves, because a lot of men, they get pains and they don't want to be going to the doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they need a lot of encouragement from their woman just to get a simple checkup. Yeah, which isn't good. So yeah, we've even got to change our attitudes as men towards health. Like any pain, where we just fight through pain. And I'm like that as well. Like, I'm just like, it's got to be to the extreme before we just be like, okay, might need to get this pain checked.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be.
Yeah, so yeah, we got to check more as men, check on ourselves, even amongst each other, like talk to each other about the pains that we're having, because we might learn from each other certain pains that we have, because it could just be aging. Or it could just be like, okay, we're not looking after ourselves properly. That's why we have these pains here. We shouldn't be getting certain ailments at a certain age. Things that we should, but yeah.
And I would say as well, like with period pains, it shouldn't be you shouldn't be out of whack for days. It should be some discomfort, yes, but you shouldn't have like severe stabbing pains on your period. Like, it shouldn't be that severe. So I think it's worth checking out whether something else is going on.
Yeah, I would love for more women to like actively try to change their diets and see if it affects their periods, and report back. The same with the COVID thing, when the COVID vaccine was happening, and a lot of women started reporting that they've had issues with their period. And so like the way they reported that one, they should, a lot of women should change their diet and come back and report like, this is what happened when I changed my diet, when I cut out meat, when I cut out red meats or whatever. This is what happens. Yeah, we need more of that in the community as well.
Yeah. Do you think you could provide a link to this diet change that you're talking about?
Oh yeah, there's many Yeah, and there's many
Yeah.
sources as well. There's like
let's find one and help people out a little bit.
Yeah, because when I had my stomach pains, I typed in heal yourself naturally, and then I discovered a Dr. Sebi video. Then once I discovered that video, I went deeper into Dr. Sebi and what he encouraged about healing yourself and stuff. And then I discovered other little like holistic health type people. So because everyone's kind of got their own ways of healing. Like Dr. Sebi had his strict alkaline diet, and then you meet other ones that are like, nah, you don't need to be as strict as that. But there's other ways of healing. So yeah, that's how I got to healing myself holistically. I just typed it in Google, and then yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we can help out. Give some recommendations, but yeah,
Definitely there'll be some definitely. So yeah, that's another episode. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm Aries.
And I'm Gems, and we're wishing you well.
Yeah, we'll see you again for another wellness episode.
Yeah.
Of Aries and Gems. We'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Bye.
Bye.